What is up, everybody? Tonight, we are here with the best belt machine. He is the cleaner, the belt collector. He is your AAA Mega champion, your AEW World Heavyweight champion, which he will defend on the new date for New Year's Smash, January 6th. You can catch him this Wednesday immediately following AEW Dynamite with the debut episode of AEW 2 Show over on the AEW Games YouTube channel. We are here with none other than Kenny Omega. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm doing okay considering everything. So
thank you, and obviously we give you our condolences for everything that happened this week. Everyone in the wrestling community, that's a tough loss for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I do, however, find a lot of happiness in just looking at my timeline and just seeing all these stories that everyone else had with him. And I'm just happy that he was so universally loved by everyone that he'd worked with and everyone that he'd met. It's, it wasn't something that was exclusive to us. It wasn't something that, only we were able to see. So many people had been touched by him. So I'm just glad that he was able to meet so many people, touch so many people, and be a part of so many people's lives.
I was definitely thinking about today. It's crazy how many stories have came out over the last couple of days of what he's done that was never known to anybody. Obviously, people behind the scenes, but none of the fans. All the stuff buying ring gear for fans, all the videos are popping up of him doing little cameo type of videos for people who are sick and stuff like that. So
absolutely,
hopefully these will continue to come out.
No, I really do think that they will. A lot of people had said that what he had done in wrestling wasn't at all for the sake of his own fame. He was doing it to be a hero to his kids, and regardless of what he had left unaccomplished in the ring, I'm sure he was destined for extreme greatness in AEW. You could see that just in the little bit that he did with us, which is unfortunately cut short. But just seeing by the amount of posts and the stories and everything, you could tell that he was a very special man. And not only was he talented in the ring, and he wasn't able to show that to the best of his ability, but everyone knew that who he was someone you don't really meet too often in this planet. So again, we all knew what kind of man that Brody was. Now everyone's kind of getting to know this man that was, the behind the scenes Mr. Brody, behind the scenes Luke Harper or whoever. Yeah, it's you knew the talent was there too. You're just an all-around human being.
I want to thank you for sharing that with us. And again, our condolences. We will hop right into this. We'll say hi to Doug first. Doug, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Kenny, how you doing today?
How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Sorry. Just want to thank you for spending your time with us. Really appreciate it. It's an honor to get to talk to you.
Oh, my pleasure.
Huge fan. Love all your matches. Your style of matches is, the reason I love wrestling today, and just want to thank you. I know we got a lot of people, so I'll get into a quick question here. Just wanted to know, I know you're heavily influenced by video games and whatnot, but just want to know what else has kind of influenced your career, like what wrestler styles of wrestling and moments throughout wrestling history have kind of helped shape who you are.
That's a real good question. I would say that when I was growing up, of course, the big one was WWE, just what they were doing, what they had done. So I was into, the 90s style, going into the Attitude Era. I was really into there. Oh, my cat. Look at the cameo. I was really into that stuff, of course. And then when I became more of like a teenager, we had my friend via satellite was able to tune into ECW. So I was like, what is this? And, I was able to kind of first see Rob Van Dam. And I remember being a huge fan of Taka Michinoku when I'd seen him at Canadian Stampede and what they did with the light heavyweight division. I saw that Taka was there. It was super crazy. And Nunzio and all those guys, Tajiri. And so I did whatever I could to watch a lot of ECW stuff. And then I remember going to our one tape trader that we had, which was 45 minutes away from my house. And it was in the corner of an art store. of all things. So they'd sort of kind of tapered off a corner of this paint store, and they had a lot of RF video type stuff. So it was like, matches of the decade, matches of the past 2 decades, the best of all Japan, best of women's wrestling. So I would just buy all that stuff, and all that became my study material. And then when I finally started to train as a wrestler, my trainer, he had probably the greatest physical collection of wrestling that I've ever seen. And we would spend every Friday night, like from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. until that Saturday morning. And we would study like wrestling from all around the planet. And we didn't really have like a real studied trainer that had traveled the globe and had a lot of accolades. So we would just take notes, and then we would see what all these styles would have to offer. Then we would practice them every week, hours and hours and hours and hours before the show. So our shows would start at like 10:30 p.m. and we were there at 4 p.m. to about like 9:30, just studying the stuff that we would learn, and then we would study after the show as well. So for me, it was like, I would say my first breakthrough where I was like, it was probably Mr. Perfect, I would say, was probably the first heavy inspiration for me as a wrestler. After that, it was probably Rob Van Dam, and then I got into like the Shinjiro Otanis, Taka Michinoku's. Then I would watch Kenta Kobashi, Masao, like all of the All Japan greats. And early 2000s, I was into a lot of Dragon Gate. I was watching a lot of Marufuji and Kenta. It was it's all over the place, but I try to always diversify my tastes, because I knew that there wasn't going to be one right style of wrestling. I knew the best style of wrestling was always going to be this amalgamation of a bunch of styles. So I tried to always keep an open mind, and even if I didn't like a certain style at its base, for example, like I don't think I could ever be strictly a lucha libre wrestler, but I know that what they do is such a joy to watch and such an incredible art form that I knew if I could incorporate some of what they do into what I do, that it would make me a better athlete. So I don't know if that answers the question or not, but yeah, try to be a studied performer, and just try to be a fan of everything. Much like it's the same way I am with music. Even it's like I don't like one genre more than any others. I just like good music. That's it.
I hear you. Well, thank you so much, Kenny. I really appreciate your time, and
you're welcome, man. Great question.
Thank you
so much, man. Have a good one.
Have a good night. We will say hi to Giovanni next. Giovanni, what's up?
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's up, man? How you doing? I like the name. That's awesome. Giovanni Tuhati. Yeah.
It's Jacob gave me that name in one of our card breaks that we normally do, so it's it kind of stuck.
I like it, man. I like it. It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, I've gotten signatures done to that name now, so it's official. I might as well change my name.
Yeah, man, make it official.
But my question would be just, you're the 6-star machine. You could put the best matches on with anybody you go against. Who would you want to go against that you haven't gone against, either living or not?
That's a good question. I honestly get that question a lot. When you add the living or not thing to it, it's that makes it really interesting. I would have loved to have been able to mix it up with Kurt Angle. I think that would be a fun one for me. Again, for someone who has such a great mind for the wrestling end of things and how he puts his matches together, I would love to have any kind of match against any one of Mick Foley's incarnations, whether it's Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, any one of them. I'm sure it could be something really cool and really interesting. And I'm gonna go with the dark horse, real oddball answer. And this was my answer like 10 years ago, but had there been the right story, if we're able to tell it right, and if we're able to get the right kind of emotion, I would have loved to have had a fun Angle match with Vince McMahon. It'd be fun. Just as say what you will about his in-ring skill, when in push came to shove and Vince had to finally step into the ring with whoever he was feuding with, whether it be Michaels or Austin or The Rock, he had memorable clashes, and he always put himself on the line to make the best performance possible. So, yeah, I would love to have something memorable with either one of those gentlemen. That'd be great.
Sounds great. Thank you for your time, Kenny, and thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Giovanni.
All right.
Kenny, I'm going to play a little intro, and then my buddy Steven's going to come on and ask you a couple questions.
You got it.
Hey, Kenny, thank you for doing all this time for me. Thank you so much. It means so much to me.
Hey, Steven, what's up, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We're off to a good start so far.
Yeah, I'm doing
Look
well.
at that collection you have. Holy moly.
Yeah, I know. I have at least 1,000 and 50 John Cena's.
That collection is incredible. I love it.
Thank you. Oh, I actually have your figure, but it's buried in my bucket.
Oh,
Because I play with it.
Sorry, could you keep talking, buddy? I'm just getting your voice is breaking up on me.
Okay, so I'm gonna repeat it. I have your figure actually, but it's buried in my bucket because I play with it.
Oh, I can't hear your voice.
Is it still cutting up, Kenny?
1 second, Jacob. Could you just could you talk for a sec?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm just give me I want to wait till our voices clear up a little bit so I can answer the question. Hello.
Hey, Steven, I can hear you perfectly. I think it's maybe on one of our ends. Steven, can you say something, buddy?
Sure.
Say test 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
test 1, 2, 3.
What's happening? All right. Could you just keep talking? Test
Hello,
1, 2.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
There we go. We got you. I got you. I heard you. What's up, buddy? There we are.
So what I was saying was I have your figure.
Oh, awesome.
But it's buried in my bucket because I play with it a lot.
Oh, okay.
I make you flip over the ropes. I make you look like Ricochet.
Oh, thank you. I try my best to be a high flyer still, even though I'm getting really old and really heavy. So.
Oh, and trust me, I try to make you a face all the time I play with you.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Before I start doing the questions,
Sure.
we have two things in common.
Okay.
One, we're both from Canada.
Oh, really? What
Yeah.
city are you from, buddy?
Toronto.
Toronto. I used to go to Toronto all the time. I had a friend who lived in Toronto, and I used to visit all the time. I used to spend months there, and I used to go to all the malls there. I used to take walks. I used to take the train. I miss that place. I've flown there. I've drove there. I've wrestled there. Oh, that was like a home away from home for me. Do you like it?
Yes, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's got lots of wrestling, trust me.
Yeah, and you guys are great fans. I remember when we used to go there for Ring of Honor, you guys were some of the greatest fans that I performed in front of.
Yeah.
Always so many people, too.
And the second reason is my mom and dad work at Costco.
Wow.
So we have the Costco bond.
That's unbelievable. I'll tell you one thing. The one thing that was really sad for me, because I used to work at Costco, I used to try so hard. I used to work so many hours at Costco. I loved it. And that was one of the saddest things for me to do was to tell my boss at Costco, I said, sorry, I'm going to be in Japan so much. I don't know if I can work here anymore. So I said, is there a way that maybe we can have a special relationship where I can just kind of work here every time I come back from Japan? They said, well, maybe not. But I really wanted just to have kind of a part-time job at Costco, just still be involved. I liked it a lot. I miss it.
And also, I wanted to say before all my questions, I wanted to say I'm sorry for the passing.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy. He was a good friend to everybody, and yeah, I just wish that everyone. I wish that everyone knew him the way that we did, and I hope that through everyone's stories that you guys get to know him a little bit better too.
Yeah, but my mom and dad broke the news to me, but I cried all night, but I'm still happy now.
That's good.
So on to the questions. Question number 1 is, other than the New Day, who are 3 people you haven't faced in video games that you can beat in your opinion?
Sorry, could you tell me the question again, buddy? So, your voice kind of broke up again.
Okay. Other than the New Day, who are 3 people that you haven't faced in video games that you can beat in your opinion?
Oh, can we get the? Sorry, Jacob.
Can you hear me?
I don't know why I'm getting the I'm getting a real skippy kind of voice on my side, unfortunately.
That's good. 1 second. Can you hear me properly or no?
Could you do I?
I can hear you fine.
Be able to hear you when you. Do I sound skippy when I talk to you?
No.
No. Oh, there we go. Okay, you came back.
Hello?
Yeah, I got you. Can we get Steven back on quick?
Very weird. All right, there you go, Steven.
Okay, so my first question was, okay, so other than the New Day, who are 3 people that you haven't faced in video games that you can beat in your opinion?
That I can beat in my opinion. Okay, I'll tell you one for sure. Okay, one is The Miz. I can for sure beat The Miz because I saw that he can sometimes beat Xavier Woods, and I can for sure beat Xavier Woods. So I can beat The Miz. I know I can. Another guy that I can beat for sure is Big E. I know I can beat Big E. I would lay a walloping on him. I could beat up Big E real bad in any kind of video game. And we have 2 guys in AEW. We have Kip Sabian and Miro that are playing a lot of video games.
Miro. I've interviewed him.
Yeah. So I've seen Miro play video games, and he's okay. He's pretty good. He's funny, but I think I'm better at him in everything. So I want to beat those guys up real bad in any game.
Hopefully Miro doesn't see this on my YouTube channel.
No, he gets real mad really quick. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm not afraid of him. I'll lay the smack down on Miro. Doesn't matter what game. Any game of his choice.
On 2K 2020, I'll face you at any time.
Oh yeah, what games do you play, buddy?
2K 2020 WWE. I've beaten all 4 Uncharted.
Wow. Yeah, those are real good games. I love Uncharted games.
Yeah, I've beaten all of them.
What was your favorite one?
I
think mine was 2.
Probably my most hated one would be the 3rd one. My most favorite one would probably be the first one, because the first one you had to fight all those monsters at the end.
Yeah, that was scary. That surprised me. I thought it was just going to be normal humans the whole time, but it turned into monsters.
On part 2, when the monsters were chasing after me, I just kept on climbing up the ladder and started shooting their faces.
You're a smart kid.
Second question is, there's a lot of great wrestlers all around the world. Why do you think that there are so many Canadian wrestlers at the top of the wrestling food chain, considering our population is smaller?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'll tell you what I think. It's maybe not true, but this is just what I think. I think that because we're Canadian and because we don't have a major promotion here, we don't have AEW, we don't have WWE. They come here sometimes. They come to Canada, but we have to work extra hard to get into America. We have to work extra hard to make sure that people want to buy our visa, to make sure people want to pay for our airplane, our hotel. So it's more difficult for a Canadian wrestler to make such a long trip and take a risk going to a big promotion and impressing the boss. So we know that when we get that chance, we have to make sure that we hit a home run. We have to make sure that we do the best job possible, and we have to make sure that we get that job. So I think for us Canadians, and maybe it's just because it's in our Canadian blood. I mean, we We have to deal with those rough winters all the time. We have to deal with very cold winters, very, very hot summers. I think that Canadians maybe are just a little bit tougher. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're tougher and we're a little hungrier.
And I also forgot to tell you about my video games.
Yeah.
I actually play all of the WWE 2K.
Oh, wow. All of them. What, do you have a favorite 2K one?
Probably 2K20 or 2K19. Well, those two.
Is that because it has Ricochet?
Well, that and there's Aleister Black. But he's my favorite. He's my favorite wrestler besides John Cena.
Oh, wow. So you like NXT too then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they have a lot of NXT guys in that one.
Yeah. So looking at your career and on a whole, who are 3 people that you feel have you influenced you the most and why?
Oh, the people that have influenced me the most. I think that, well, my manager now, Don Callis, was a big influence for me when I was a kid because he was a promoter in Winnipeg and he had a very big promotion and everyone wanted to be selected for his promotion. Everyone wanted to be picked to be part of Don Callis's promotion. So I remember he was an inspiration. He made me want to try hard. He made me want to get bigger, work out at the gym, get better wrestling gear. And I knew that if I could be a part of his show, that was step one to becoming a bigger star and to getting better matches. So he was a big step. He was a big step for me in my journey to becoming a wrestling superstar. Then I would say the next most influential person for me. I don't know if you know him, but his name's Coda Ibushi, and yeah, he was my very good friend in Japan, and he was in the Cruiserweight Classic one year for WWE, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been inspired to do everything that I did in Japan. I wouldn't have been inspired to become the best person I could be. And I think the next person maybe that that inspired me might have been, in a way I could say Xavier Woods. I could say Xavier Woods because you know what? When I was trying to be a wrestler, but also be involved in video gaming, a lot of people said I was crazy. And a lot of people said that I shouldn't do it. It takes too much time. It's impossible. Or maybe it makes me a nerd.
Say that to me.
Yeah. So, but then when I saw Xavier Woods doing it, I saw, hey, there's someone else that can do it too. And he's doing just fine. So it made me try even harder, not only in wrestling, but at video games too. So it's a more difficult schedule. It makes me really, really busy to be good at video games and wrestling. But because I see one person doing it, it makes me believe that I can do it too.
And last question is, my dad has an argument with the guy that runs this.
Mm-hmm.
Who is a bigger GOAT, Bret Hart or Chris Jericho? Who is the GOAT?
Oh, right now it has to be Chris Jericho. It has to be Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho not only was a legendary wrestler and won so many titles all over the world, but then he started a rock band. Then he retired one time, came back, became famous again, then became the champion of AEW, and then he started another group, and he's still famous, still putting on some of the greatest matches in all of professional wrestling, and he's over 50 now. So Bret Hart, I would say at one point, maybe it was Bret Hart, but now that it's 2021 almost, my vote goes to Chris Jericho.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you, but in my opinion, the real GOAT of all generation is Bret Hart.
Oh,
thank you so much for doing the time. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for your passing.
Oh, thank you so much, buddy. You were great to have on here. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Great to meet you. See you.
Kenny, you kind of touched up on it there, and also as a proud Canadian, how surreal is it to kind of sit back and think three of the top guys in the game right now, with you, Jericho, and Mr. Don Callis, are all from the same little town in Canada?
It is really insane. It was very odd when we were doing it in Japan, and we thought, like, how is it that we're all at Tokyo Dome? I remember we had this discussion. It was like, how are we all sitting here at Tokyo Dome? How is it that, you know, this place is going to be filled up with over 40,000 people, and they're going to be watching the match between myself and Chris, and they're going to be hearing your voice calling the match, Don. And not many people, I mean, I think it was common knowledge. People knew that we were from Winnipeg, but you don't really think about it until you really look at it. Like, these guys are all from kind of a smaller town, and of all places, Winnipeg. It's not known as this sort of this wrestling mega city. It's just how serendipitous. And now it's happening all over again in AEW now, where these three figures from Winnipeg are just doing these crazy things in professional wrestling. And you know, we have common threads that bind us, but before I had met Chris for the first time, you know, we weren't really aware of each other, aware of what we like. Of course, I was aware of him, but he wasn't aware of me. It wasn't mutual. And Don had been out of wrestling for a long time. It just that when things finally came together, it was very harmonious, and we're always all on the same wavelength. And that could be the Winnipeg thing, who knows? But when we start to make magic together, we all kind of, we have all the ingredients within at least one of the three of us to add to this witch's brew that'll make something real special.
Awesome. We will say hi to Spencer. What's up, man?
Not much. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Hey, Spencer, what's up?
Good. First off, thank you for doing this. The whole PWJ community, we really appreciate you taking your time out.
Awesome. Number 11. I like it.
Yeah, sir. Condolences to Brody Lee and his family there to you guys. But my question is, okay, so right now you're in a storyline where you are the belt collector. Coda Ibushi is going for the title at the next Wrestle Kingdom. In your New Japan run, I thought that was one thing. I love the Golden Lovers, and then I thought maybe we would get a match with you and Coda, but that never happened. So if he wins the belt and gets the Intercontinental Championship, Heavyweight Championship, or even if he doesn't, and if things work out, would you be open to maybe having a match with Coda? Because I think you guys could put on a killer match.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part again? I heard the would you, and then we just got...
Yeah. So with him, like if he does win the titles at Wrestle Kingdom, would you be open to having a match with him, like with all the belts on the line down the road if everything was to work out?
See, I honestly, I am really... You know, I sit back and I kind of look at what can I give to wrestling? What can I do that would make my stay in this world of wrestling special? And, you know, it's not a real fancy move anymore. It's not because I have curly hair. You know, there are other people with curly hair now. They used to be my thing. It's not even, hey, it's because I'm the Canadian guy, or it's not even because I'm the Winnipeg guy. We have a couple of those too now.
Right.
So what is it that I can do that's special that maybe no one else could do, or no one else would think to do, or that no one else has the passion or the will? And that sounds like something that would be up my alley. You know, I always wanted to unite sort of fans and wrestlers together.
Right.
It's one thing that I noticed, even, you know, when I was going from DDT to New Japan, or then from New Japan to ROH, and then, you know, from New Japan to AEW, then to Impact. It's like, I realized that when I go to these other areas, you know, there's bitterness and there are things that you see that you don't like, or there's, a dark side to wrestling that you don't enjoy being around whenever you get too comfortable in one place. The rotten apples, or they really start to stick out more than they should.
Right.
And sometimes, it takes a clean slate and a new perspective. And for me, even just to go to Impact, just for, I'm still going back there, but when I went to go visit there and to just meet some of the guys that I'd met along the way, whether it be through the indies or, in the Best of Super Juniors or New Japan, it's like there's so much positivity, and the good outweighs the bad when you look at everything as a whole. And if everything was kind of united, I feel like the bad would then be pushed out because the good would just outnumber the bad stuff tenfold.
Right.
So that was always my goal, and I think it still is my goal. And I'm, to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to pursue that. And I know that certain people, that's not in their best interest. So,
right.
There's a certain sort of, there's a limit to everything. And I don't think that is a limit. I do think that it could be possible, and I'm going to pursue it to the best of my ability. And I would like to, for sure, explore if that relationship could be possible again. And whether you look at it via how it would make fans happy, or how it would unite two promotions, or how it would increase business for both sides, or whatever brain it is that you'd like to use to analyze the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe it's a win-win, and it's positive for everyone. And one thing I've always said, and I think everyone would also agree, that if you always asked the wrestlers, the boys, how do you feel about teaming up with another promotion, I would say 99% of the guys would always be all for it, because everyone has friends everywhere around the world.
Right.
And they would love to work with them again. And they would love to have that sort of, just that ability to have fresh new matchups, and to have a sense of, I don't know, it's like an Olympics in a way. It's like a wrestling Olympics. So you have a sense of ownership and pride to your brand, and it's fun to mix it up with your friends. Then it becomes kind of a more friendly competition, rather than you competing against yourself, or even against the fans. Like it's more. I just want to bring the fun back into wrestling, the fun and the passion.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that could be just another step in the right direction. So yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that.
Okay, cool. Hey, before I let you go, I just want to show you this real quick. I got this signed by you at StarCast. It's got your signature.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then on the side there, that's actually Coda Ibushi's signature. So it's one of my favorite pieces in my collection.
Pens. And I see that you got the V-Trigger bundle too, didn't you, buddy?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Did you try it yet? Did you actually taste it?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. I've used it a few times. Definitely going to be using it more in the new year.
Good. No, I'm glad to hear that. I was the review, like the flavor review from users, has been high, but I always still want to ask if everyone's enjoying it, because that's, again, I'm not doing it to make a buck. Like I just want to make a product that people actually like. That was always my thing, was like, I want, guys that are into fitness or you need a supplement to pick me up. If they don't know who I am, that's fine. It's not about, getting to know Kenny Omega, the wrestler. But if you try it and you think the flavor is good and you feel it, that's the most important part. So, I mean, you do know who I am, which is even great. It's wonderful. But if you also like the flavor too, that's even better. So thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Hey, thank you again. Before I go, my friend wanted me to tell you have an awesome entrance. He's loving it. But again, thank you for everything you've done for the wrestling world, and you'll continue to do.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good one, buddy.
See ya.
Next, say hi to Brian and Joshua. What's up?
Hey, Jacob. Thanks for having us.
Oh, awesome. What's up, Brian? What's up, Josh?
Thanks.
Doing?
We appreciate it. Our question kind of goes off of what Steven was talking about with Chris Jericho. He mentioned that the Stadium Stampede was one of his favorite matches of all time that he's done. and we wanted to know what your thoughts are, how fun that Stadium Stampede match was at Double or Nothing.
Was it? Oh, I think every time someone joins, Jacob, it takes a second for me to be able to pick up the audio. So
It's very odd.
I'm not sure what we can do on our end here.
Can you hear them now? Brian, say something.
Do you hear? Do you hear me clearly though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Brian, can you hear? Kenny, can you hear Brian now? Brian, please talk.
Kenny, can you hear me now? No. Check 1 2 1 2 testing.
I think that was on Brian's end. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
I appreciate that was on Brian's end because he was coming through. Brian, try to fix that and come back. We'll say hi to
Also,
Shayna next.
Just maybe if you could, could you write the question in the chat as well, just to be safe?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Good chat. Shayna, what's up?
Hi, hello. Thank you so much for having me on. Hi, Kenny. It's so great to see you. Thank you so much for doing this. So my question is with regards to your approach to wrestling in general. There seems to be a bit of an ongoing dichotomy between the world of sport and the world of art. It's like you can be an athlete but not an artist, or you can like sports but not art, or vice versa. As someone who is both an incredible athlete and an artist, I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on these supposed differences and how you reconcile that in your work, and whether or not you view yourself as one more than the other, or anything along those lines would be great.
Could do you have me, Jacob?
Yeah, that's so weird. What's going on right now?
Yeah. You can repeat. Could you? I can hear you clearly, Jacob. Just quickly repeat it, and I'll answer.
I just want to know differences between like art and wrestling, and how both of them mingle together in your work.
Oh, okay. That's a very good question. Okay, I'll do the best I can to answer. But I put a lot of thought into that. Actually, and I look at things in a very strange way, and I think I'll be very forthright about it, and I'll tell you my honest opinion. And to a lot of people, wrestling is wrestling, and wrestling is just barbaric, and it should be fighting, and it should just be something very physical and something very primal. But I think much like how boxing has evolved, much like mixed martial arts has evolved, it's not just two brutes running at each other, swinging their fists. It's much more than that. And especially when you take a look at the performance aspect of what we do, you have the ability to create whatever you like, because it isn't just a competition. And you're not just trying to win a medal or a trophy or a prize. You're trying to tell a story. And sometimes the story is about you winning. Sometimes the story is about you losing. And sometimes it's something even deeper than that. So when I really sat back and tried to look at what it is that we're trying to accomplish as wrestlers, I thought that maybe, even though studying stuff that we had done in the past in professional wrestling was important, and it was important to use as a tool, I thought that I need to study other performances, and I need to study other compositions. So I would look at, and I remember when I was habitually doing matches that were about 20 to 30 minutes in New Japan, I would think of shows, dramas on TV that I would watch that would run anywhere between 21 and 44 minutes per episode. Those were generally sort of the match runtime that I would have, and I would think of what episodes had a great beginning, had a great middle, had a great end, and how did those episodes vary from one another. And of course, you're going to have episodes that are going to generally stand out as better episodes than others, because maybe it introduces, a different villain, or some other kind of conflict that the hero has to overcome, or that the main characters have to overcome. And that makes it so that you can't copy and paste everything that you do on a template. Every story has to be different and has to cater to the certain characters that are involved. I try to liken that to stuff that had sort of been universally praised over the years. And this might sound odd, but I think that when I was a child, wrestlers to me were heroes. They're superheroes. And that's why when I was a kid, I either wanted to be a wrestler or I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle because there's something that was larger than life. So I thought, what was universally praised when I was a child, but you could watch as a teen, you could watch as an adult. I could go back and watch it right now and it'd still be great. For me, that was Batman the Animated Series. And I had thought, okay, everyone will always remember the Joker because he's the Joker. Everyone loves the Joker, even though he's the greatest villain that Batman has. But if Batman fought the Joker every week, it would get tired, it would get old, it'd get predictable. So that's why sometimes Batman has to fight the Penguin, he has to fight the Riddler, he has to fight Clayface. And for me, you know, some of those stories were even more interesting than clashes he had with the Joker, even though those are the most iconic. So whether you sub in, you know, whether you have your clashes with the Joker, which will generally remain pretty serious from start to finish, or you have a Riddler episode which has a little bit of comedic relief in it, or you have something that pulls in your heartstrings, like a Two-Face story where there's a human side to this man that you feel for, but there's also this monster that you can't tame. I was able to find a lot of commonality, and I was able to find a way to look at that and structure my stories, especially in New Japan, in my time in Japan, when I was sort of understanding how long I had to be in the ring, how long these matches had to be, and the stories that I knew I wanted to tell within a certain period of time. And then when I moved on to AEW, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to accomplish, and I wasn't sure who I'd be mixing up with, or what stories would emerge and what stories would evolve, how I would evolve, I would look at my big match performances, matches that I knew I wanted to be special, and I would study like I would just play long playlists of classical music, and I would study the composition of, you know, when how a song would start, when the tempo would get, when the tempo would become quicker, when there would be a crescendo to everything, and how it would make you feel when you listen to the music, and why so many people around the world believe that classical music is one of the most sort of artistic styles of music to listen to, and how anyone can probably find an appreciation to artistic to classical music, because you use it in accompaniment to all types of movies. Still, you can listen to it in an elevator. You can listen to it while you're shopping. You can listen to it while you're fighting. You can listen to it while you're playing video games, while you're in the shower. There's no it applies to so many situations, and those types of music they'll never get old. And it's because when music is beautiful and when art is in its purest form, it's very flexible. It's like a rubber band. You can bend it any which way that you'd like it to go, and you'll be able to fit it into whatever mold that it needs to be fit in. So I would like, in that same sense, for wrestling to be viewed in the same light. And whether it's always going to be a trial by fire, and it's always going to be it's you can just take a stab in the dark and just shoot for the stars. You're not always gonna hit a home run. Sometimes you might fail, but I want to at least try to reach more people than what wrestling is currently reaching with what I do. And if what I can do can reach the everyday person who doesn't necessarily enjoy wrestling or watch wrestling, but they can identify with that as real entertainment, or something that they don't mind watching, or something that they laughed at or cried at or got angry at, then I feel like, to some degree, that I'm doing my job. You know, by no means do I think I'm Beethoven or, you know, Michelangelo, but at the very least, I want to take inspiration in those types of artists and use that to inspire my work.
Well, thank you so much. I am a brand new fan. I've only been watching for about 2 years, and your match was the first thing that I watched. So whatever you are doing, it's absolutely working. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much.
everything.
And sorry for the long answer.
I loved it. Thank you so much. That was,
You're welcome.
yes. Wow. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob.
Next, we'll go to Johnny, and if you can't hear him, I'll repeat it for you, Kenny.
Okay, you bet.
Johnny, what's up?
Not too much. How you doing? Can you hear me?
How you doing, Johnny?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Good, man. Good.
Well, my little buddy Steven stole my question, one that I typically ask anyone whenever I get a chance to, which is the Jericho Bret question. But I do have another good question. When it's time that, Kenny has to lace up the boots, does he come back and retire and live in Canada?
Did you hear that, Kenny? Or
sorry, Jacob. Do you
he asked, once you retire, are you going to move back to Canada?
Oh, yeah. Very good question. I actually, it's because it's the Christmas season, and, during the holidays, I try to link back up with family and call them, and, we're doing a lot of Zoom calls and stuff like that. And that was one of the hot topics was what am I going to do? I haven't been home at all. This is the longest period of time I have been away from home. Even when I was in Japan living there, I would still visit home quite often. The short answer is I still feel like I have two homes. So I still do feel like I have a home in Canada and a home in Japan. And I guess if I have a choice, I'd love to be able to return to both. And, I'd love to be able to see my family out in Canada, spend more time at the cottage, which I haven't been able to spend any time at all for over a year. Japan, of course, I was able to make a short little trip in October of last year. And then, of course, COVID happened and everything was shut down. So I haven't been there at all this year either. They've got Super Nintendo Land coming out. So there's that. And, yeah, I think I see myself at least being in a position, if I have a main home one place, I just want to be in a position where I could freely visit both Japan and Canada again. That's probably the best answer I can give, because I really do feel like I have two homes right now.
Sounds like a good answer. I'd love to visit Japan one day myself personally, from all that what I've heard. And I guess I'm going to let you go, but I want to thank you, and I appreciate your talent and the skill you bring to the ring. It's been an honor to watch you, and I'll continue watching. So, yeah, to the next. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for your question. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care, Kenny.
You bet.
3 more for you, sir.
Sure. Yep, you bet.
First, we'll say hi to Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, how are you, Jacob? Hi, Kenny. Great to meet you.
How you doing, buddy?
Excellent. Yeah, I was just curious. As a fellow gamer, I was curious what your favorite wrestling games were. Whether import or domestic. What's your favorites?
Kenny, favorite wrestling games, domestic or imported?
Oh, noon. Okay. That's a good one. Okay, so number one, I'm not sure if you know. If you don't, I would say get on it. But it's Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. So that's number one. That's my favorite. I feel like if you like No Mercy, if you like WrestleMania 2000, then this one is going to be right up your alley, because not only does it have all that, it's faster, it's got more moves, it has an MMA system in it, so you've got the ability to use a cage, it has grappling, it has striking, uses the MMA rule system, which is incredible, and I would say it even has more options for creative characters too. I don't know why. I think that maybe No Mercy probably maxed out the storage for like Titantrons and things like that. But in VPW, they used all that extra memory for just more ability to customize and more moves and more characters. I love it. Number 2 is probably good old classic WrestleFest, the arcade. It never gets old. I mean, I used to always tag as Ultimate Warrior and Mr. Perfect. That's probably still my go-to, but as time went by, you just find that every character is super fun. Like I love being able to hit the leg drop or the boss man slam or Jake's DDT. Man, even just doing $1 Million Man's, like he does the power slam, he gets up, does the money symbol with the hands. Like it's super fun. It's so simple, but I loved it so much. And for 3, I'll either say another kind of unknown one is King of Colosseum, which is an import game. King of Colosseum I really liked. You could get it on PS2. It had a huge roster, and it was a 2-disc game. So you'd had like might even been 3 at the end. But remember, there's a green disc and a red disc. So one side was like the Noah side, the other side was like the All Japan side, and of course like extras. But if you got the discs, it would just quadruple your roster, and at a real cool stock-based system where by successfully hitting moves and stuff, you would actually build specials. So you could store your specials to use anytime you wanted. And some of the better wrestlers, for example, like main eventer like Kobashi, he would have the ability to store up to 4. Whereas like, someone who was a weaker guy would only have the ability to store 1 or 2. And it was really cool, like how if your guy was had a lariat as a finish, you could ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. You could run across the ring and hit like a finisher style lariat on the guy right away and hit 1, 2, 3, which happens sometimes in wrestling. So I thought that was a cool way to add like the unknown factor into a wrestling game. So in case that you didn't know those the Japanese ones, I would say for sure check it out. They're definitely worth your time. And yeah, I want to play some WrestleFest again.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks for the recommendations. Yeah,
You bet, man.
I played, but I've heard about Virtual Pro for quite some time. I need to get that one up.
Definitely. No, if you can find a way to get a either a Japanese N64 or a modded 64 or just whatever, an emulator of any kind, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2 is definitely the way to go. It's very, very good.
Excellent. Thanks again for the recommendation, and thanks for taking the time out for us, brother. I've been enjoying everything out of AEW. I've been loving going back and seeing your history. So, yeah, man, here's to the future.
You bet. Yeah, hoping it's looking bright. Thank you so much. Have a good one, my friend.
Take care, brother.
See you. You bet.
We will say hi to Dan. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, my question for you is, I'm a chef, and what kind of food do you miss in Japan? What do you miss?
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I can't remember what they would call it in English, but maybe they call it like cabbage or noodle pancakes, but okonomiyaki is what they would call it. What I liked about it was when you can make it on your own. They give you all the ingredients, and there'd be like a frying pan at the table, and you put your noodles down and your seafood down, and you kind of make like a pancake with it, and it's got like a batter, and then you cook it however you like, add whatever it is that you like, add some your fish flakes or whatever, however various meats or seafood that you want in it, and then a little bit of sauce and mayonnaise or whatever, and it just would taste so good. Also, this is more like a food cart type of food, but it's called takoyaki, which they generally would be like squid. So like there's kind of like squid balls. It's the exact same thing, but they make these things so darn fast, and it's just like they're super, super hot. If you ate them right away, you'd like melt your mouth from the inside out. But I really do miss just the fun times, like going to those restaurants and making them yourself while chatting and having a fun time, and they would just taste so good. So yeah, that's one of my and those generally too, I would say they're more, you can get it anywhere. You don't have to necessarily go to the Kansai region, but it's more famous, I would say, in Osaka, like the Osaka area, to get like takoyaki or to do like okonomiyaki. But it's so popular that you can go to Tokyo or any place and you'll be able to find a restaurant. But that's something I miss, not only eating, but I guess doing, because there's like a fun factor to it.
Cool. Thank you, Kenny. And I just want to say, I love watching you. You're doing awesome. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds. And I hope you kick Impact's butt.
Thanks, man. It shouldn't be too difficult, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. I mean, come on. Okay, thank you, Kenny, so much, and thank you, Jacob, so much.
And the last one for you today, Kenny, will be
Okie
Dennis. What's up, Dennis?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, good. I just finished my delivery route, so I'm headed back to the station, so I'm almost done with work.
What's your question, Dennis?
My question is for Kenny, which title win meant more to you? Finally beating Okada for the IWGP title after all those matches, or winning the AEW title because of what spawned from that win?
Did you hear that, Kenny? Or
I cannot, unfortunately.
What championship win meant more to you, the one over Okada or winning the AEW World Championship for the first time?
Sorry, I'm even year now.
Oh no.
There we go. I got you.
All right. Okay. What I think it was on Dennis's end, the clicking. Okay. What championship belt win was more meaningful to you, the one over Okada or the first your AEW World Championship win?
Oh wow. Like no. I mean, all I can do is be honest. That's the best I can do. To me, the win over Okada was more than just winning a belt. You know, that was an accomplishment that in what we do in wrestling, it's just sort of like people look at belts as certain representations for all different types of things. It could be a reward, it could be a bartering chip, it could be just it could be a tool and use of a storyline angle or something like that. But for what that represented to me and what it meant for the company to trust that belt to me at that time, when Okada was the most dominant IWGP heavyweight champion in all of New Japan's history, it had really been an accomplishment that I know for a fact wasn't at first meant for me. And I knew that it was something that wasn't at first something that they felt that they could trust me with. And it for me was kind of I felt like for what I had to go through, and I don't necessarily just mean, my entire career from day one to that time, but I mean, I guess I could say from when I knew where my career was headed to then where it ended up. And that would date back to when Gallows and Anderson and AJ and Nakamura, when they left on a day's notice to WWE, everything changed after that day. And I was kind of thrust on a moment's notice into an angle that no one believed in me in. And it was really just a kind of a placeholder angle, for lack of a better idea. It was panic booking, and it wasn't something that was meant to last. And so for me to take that idea, which is just, I was just being used as a tool to buy the company time, but then to make it my own, to start the Elite, to kickstart something very fresh at the Bullet Club, to being able to convince the company to trust me with a ladder match, to then their top star getting injured, to taking a lot of risks and putting myself on the line in a ladder match against Michael Elgin, to then doing everything that I could to have very separate and unique and stand-up performances in the G1 when they didn't have a clear-cut winner as to who would take it, to then doing what I could with the result of that G1 tournament. And then, the first Okada match, the second one, the third one when my knee was blown out and I had just a terrible head injury that, well, I'll go into at some other time in my career. It's a long story. The Western expansion, the U.S. title, the thing with Jericho, and then finally the best 2 out of 3 falls match with Okada. It was putting myself out there in all of these situations that no one had seen, that I didn't know I would be able to do. They're all just huge chances. And it wasn't just me, you know what I mean? Okada was right there with me because we both had to take those chances together. And I think we just sort of found this very sacred chemistry that you only find with certain people that you meet in the planet. So, yeah, it was a very cool, storied couple years. And I think if it weren't for all these pit stops along the way that led to these very notable matches and altercations and sort of unique happenings in New Japan, I would not have been awarded that belt. And I think in the sake of the AEW title, it was kind of like people kind of thought like, hey, this is, just take that belt. This is your company, man. And it was like, no, that's not me. This is about building new stars. Like, everyone knows what I can do. I've destroyed myself. There are people around the world that are in positions like how I was, who have all these ideas, who have, they're still healthy, like unlike me. And they can give the world a lot that no one has seen. And I wanted that to first be what we put on display with our company. And, now, I sort of have these new types of stories to tell. And it's going to be, very different from the Kenny Omega that they've seen up to this point. But yeah, it's not that I don't call it an accomplishment. I do believe that holding that belt is a huge responsibility, and it's a huge accomplishment because TV wrestling is very difficult. And, just being able to have the responsibility of being a champion during the COVID era, it's also very difficult because you not only have to worry about, performing on a week-to-week basis, but you have to worry a lot more about your own health and everybody else's health, the fans' health. There's so many factors that go into every performance, and it's a very different set of challenges. But I would say from a pure wrestling perspective, yeah, IWGP was going to be the peak for me.
Awesome. Kenny, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know a lot of people in the chat are saying thank you as well.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
For, of course, AEW Dynamite and AEW on 2.0 on Games, on AEW Games YouTube channel. Where else can everybody find you, and what else is going on?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I believe it's at Kenny Omega Man X. And yeah, I watch it. I monitor it. I don't post too often, but I'm there. So if you guys want to check me out there, please feel free to do so. And if not, of course, AEW Dynamite. That's the place to go. And we've just announced as a company too. And I'm very, very, very proud to announce that the whole episode this week it's going to be in the memory of Brody Lee. So we just want this to be a special day for him, and we want everyone to watch it, have fun with the Dark Order, and share stories, listen to stories, read stories, and just celebrate the life of the man. So that's what I'm really looking forward to this week. And thank you again for everyone to come out here and have a nice conversation, have a little bit of fun today. So thank you for that.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great night.